Hello and welcome to MUSCLEFY. My name is Marie. I'm a personal trainer and avid health enthusiast, and today we're going to be discussing belly fat. What is it? How to get there? And what you can do to get rid of it. Quick housekeeping before we jump into the video. As you can see, I do have some sound panels up in the back, but I know that some of you commented about the echo, and I am in the process of fixing that. All the panels aren't quite up yet, but I'm in the process. Hopefully I can get that fixed soon so that you can have an amazing video experience. So without further ado, let's get started. As you all know, we are humans and we eat food to survive. Now, the food that we eat is measured in the form of calories, and if we consume too many calories, well, then we kind of tend to put on a little bit of fat. How come some people tend to store all the fat in the belly, and how come some people don't? Today, we're going to be discussing one specific type of fat, which is a visceral fat.
As defined by Cleveland Clinic, visceral fat is belly fat found deep within your abdominal cavity. It surrounds important organs, including your stomach, liver, and intestines, and it's different than subcutaneous fat, which is fat found just below your skin.
Some studies say an indicator of too much visceral fat is the appearance of a pot belly, or being apple-shaped as opposed to pear-shaped. Keep in mind your genetics and hormones determine how fat is distributed in you. Also know that people with a higher body fat level tend to have more visceral fat. Now that we've identified and defined what visceral fat is, let's go ahead and discuss the dangers of too much visceral fat. Too much visceral fat is actually a key component in a variety of health problems, such as heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and more. In women, it's associated with breast cancer and gallbladder disease, to name a few. Excessive visceral fat is also related to inflammation in the body. It's not to say that everyone with a high level of visceral fat has all these problems, but you are at higher risk of developing these diseases and metabolic syndromes. So what causes this annoying visceral fat to develop in our bodies in the first place? Two words: genetics and environment. While genetics determine your overall body shape and how you store fat, environmental factors such as diet and exercise play a key role as well. Poor diets that consist of a large amount of fatty foods and ultra-processed foods, accompanied by an inactive lifestyle, increase your chances of developing high levels of visceral fat. So you may have heard me just say a word you haven't heard of before, such as ultra-processed foods. Let me go ahead and define that for you. Ultra-processed foods are made mostly from substances extracted from foods, such as fats, starches, and added sugars, as well as hydrogenated fats. Golly, that's a hard word to say, hydrogenated. So I know that was a bit of a sciencey explanation for ultra-processed foods. So let me go ahead and put it in layman terms. Cookies, hot dogs, cakes, soft drinks. But what else? French fries, corn chips. All the delicious foods that are ultra-processed, meaning they're not just made from one food, they're made from all these other little bits and pieces of other whole foods that are mashed together. So, if you're one of those people that consume a lot of ultra-processed foods, it might be best to maybe start looking at whole foods, organic foods. And a way it was explained to me by a very smart lady was that if it doesn't grow out of the ground or is a living creature on this earth, don't eat it. So cookies, were cookies growing out of the ground or a living creature at one point? No. So it's best to not eat as many of those foods to avoid visceral fat. Foods that you do want to eat to lessen your chance of accumulating excessive visceral fat are going to be whole foods, whole grain rice, lean meat. Try to get as organic, as unprocessed as possible, fresh vegetables, fresh fruits, Here's something that a lot of people enjoy: fruit juice. Now, what exactly is fruit juice? Well, fruit juice is, or possibly was, originally a fruit that has been highly processed to be a juice with maybe even some added sugars. These juices can contribute to visceral fat, so it's better if you want some orange juice, maybe just go and eat a whole orange instead. You're gonna get added fiber and absolutely no added sugar because it's the whole fruit. While changing your diet from ultra-processed foods to more whole foods and organic, fresh foods is gonna help reduce visceral fat. Also, another way to help reduce visceral fat that as a trainer I highly recommend everyone do is exercise. 30 minutes per day, aerobic, moderate intensity exercise. Also, performing at least 2 days per week of resistance training types of exercise to strengthen your muscles so that you're tackling everything you can. You're eating good, you're working out, you're really just trying to take care of your health so that as you age, we slow down the accumulation of visceral fat so we can be overall healthy people and live into our nice old age. So again, just to recap, visceral fat is deep in your abdominal cavity. You can't touch it with your bare hands because it's deep in there. You can't just grab it. But subcutaneous fat is on the outside of our body, and you can grab that. You can pinch it with your hands. I have some on my belly, but I'm not showing you right now. I have it all over. Subcutaneous fat tends to be the healthier fat. It's good to have. And again, visceral fat in small amounts helps protect your organs. But in this video, we were discussing excessive visceral fat and ways to combat that. Now, I want to remind everyone, I'm not a doctor, I'm a personal trainer, so I cannot diagnose you with having excessive visceral fat. You would have to go to your doctor and let them determine that for you. As always, we are keeping things short and sweet. I hope you learned something from this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks, bye.